Hello, welcome to the new chapter, my fourth graders. This chapter we are going to practice about multiply by two-digit numbers. Our learning target for this chapter is what? Is to understand multiplying two-digit numbers. All right, and we are going to practice more. Here, vocabulary, review words, place value, and thousands. So organize it. Use the review words to complete the graphic organizer. Place value is on top. And then the value of the place of a digit in a number. So 4 here, you see 4 has a what? Place value of 1000 because it is in the thousands place. Let's move on. Define it. Of course you can figure it out. This is what 21, 18. Please do by yourself and you are going to find compatible and numbers. Please do it yourself, okay? And compatible numbers are what? They are also called what? Friendly numbers. So numbers that are easy to multiply and are close to the actual numbers. So it doesn't have to be rounding down or up. Just you are going to use fives or tens. Okay? Like this. 24 is close to what? 25. And 31 is close to 30. It doesn't have to be like round down number, round up number. Okay? But just friendly numbers that you are working easily. All right, so let's move on to our first lesson, 4.1, multiply by tens. This is our learning target, is to use place value and properties to multiply by multiples of 10. All right, model each product, draw each model. All right, let's move on. 2 times 3, that means what? 2 rows of 3. Since they were asking us to draw this model, we need to draw this array, okay? And that's gonna be 6. Okay, 2 times 30. So now I'm going to use the longs, which is sticks, which means what? Tens, okay? So here, 2 rows of 10, and then 3, okay, in each row. So that's gonna be 60. And 2 times 300. You see the pattern, okay? Keep that in your mind. All right, and oops, yeah, that's gonna be what? Okay, 2 rows of what? 300, 100, 200, 300, 100, 200, 300. That's gonna be 600. Okay, and then for this 1000, we are going to use T, okay, as a symbol of 1000. So that's gonna be what? 2 rows of, oh, why I'm writing this? 2 rows of what? 3000, which is 6000. Put comma. Okay, what pattern do you notice in the products? Yep, they're adding what? 1, 2 zeros, and 3 zeros. 3 zeros, 2 zeros, and 1 zero, right? You see that? Yes. I'm going to write the amount of zeros in the factors, right? This is the factor. Okay, factors are the same as the amount of zero in the product. So here, no zero, right? So this is factor and they are factors. So I'm going to write down again the amount of zeros So the amount of zeros in the factors is the same as the amount of zeros in the product, right? So 2 zeros, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 3 zeros, 1 zero, 1 zero, no zero, no zero, right? So repeated reasoning. How can the pattern above help you find 20 times 30? We are going to do what? 2 times 3, and then add how many more zeros? 1, 2. Add 2 zeros. That's it. Let's move on. Think and grow. Okay, multiply by multiples of tens. So you can use place value and properties to multiply two-digit numbers by multiples of 10. Now example, find 40 times 20. It's going to be easy because you know what? You are going to do what? 4 times 2, which is 8. How many zeros? 2 zeros. Okay, just letting you know. And then let's move on. We are going to explore different ways. So this is the first way. Use place value, guys. This is what? 40 times 2 tens. 2 tens is equal to what? 20. Okay, so that's what? 80 tens, which means 800. So 440 times 20 is what? 800. Now let's move on to another example. Find 12 times 30. Use place value this time. Place value, okay? Which is what? 12 times 30 is equal to what? 12 times 3 tenths, which is 36 tenths, right? 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 3 is 3. 360 tenths, 300. Oh, did I say tenths? Sorry. 360 and 360 again. All right. Let's move on. Another way. Use the associative property of multiplication. Associative is what? You are going to group using the parentheses, and then you can move around the parentheses. Okay? So they rewrite this 20 as what? 2 times 10. And they move these parentheses into where? 4 times 2 times 10. Associative property, which is what? 40 times 2 is 80. 80 times 10 is 800. So 40 times 20 is what? 800. Oh, it's supposed to go together. This is supposed to go together, and this example goes together. All right, let's go ahead. All right, and this is one way, and this is another way. And use the associative property of multiplication instead of using place value up there. Okay, so we are going to rewrite this 30 as what? 3 times 10. And then we are going to switch the parentheses, which is, we call it associative property. Now 12 times 3 is what? 36 times 10, 360. Okay, either way, first way or second way, either one. If you feel more comfortable, which one do you prefer, just go for it. Okay, show and grow. Now we are going to use, me personally, I'm going to use, like 7 times 4, and then I'm going to count how many zeros I need to add at the end. Okay, so now 7 times 4 is what? 28. And how many zeros need to be added? 2 more zeros. This is the way easier than others, right? But still, we can practice the associative property of multiplication or place value. Place value is same as what? 4 tenths. Okay, that's the same thing. So now 5 times 8, I'm going to do that first, which is 40. And how many zeros need to be added? 2 more zeros. And don't forget to put comma, okay? And I'm going to use what? 24 times 9 tenths, which is what? I'm going to do 24 times 9, and then I'm going to add 0 at the end. Okay, what is 9 times 4? 36, carry 3 up, and 9 times 2 is 18. 18 plus 3 is what? 21. And 216, you need to add what? 0 at the end. Don't forget. Okay, this is very important. All right, let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is what? 45 times 60. I'm going to use what? 45 times 6, and then I'm going to add 1 0 at the end. Now 6 times 5 is what? 30. And carry 3 up. And 6 times 4 is what? 24. So 24 plus 3, 27. And then you need to add what? One more 0. Don't forget. Okay? So it's going to be 2,700. All right, let's move on. This is easy, right? Okay, this lesson is quite easy and simple. Find the product. 9 times 1, 9. How many more zeros? Yep, 2 more zeros. Oh, thank you, Hanamel. You remind me that what? Yeah, you need to pause the video and solve this problem by yourself and then check your answer with mine, okay? Okay, that way you are going to practice more and you will have more time to practice and then check over, and when you know what you got wrong or what your process was kind of like problem, then you can fix it. All right? If you are just copying, you don't have time to be aware what is your weakness part or what you made a mistake. Then you will not fix it. Okay? You can't have time to fix it. So please use this time wisely. All right, so now 4 times 6 is what? 24. And how many zeros? Yep, 2 zeros. 2 times 7, 14. And 2 more zeros. Getting faster, right? And 11 times 3 is what? 33. And how many more zero? Yep, 1 more zero. All right, and 12 times 4 is 48. And how many zero? 1 more zero. Okay, 5 times 15. Okay, so 5 times 5 is what? 25. And carry 2 up, and 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. And then I need to add what? 1 more zero. So the answer is what? 750. Okay, 3 times 13, and I'm going to add 1 0 at the end, which is what? 1 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 1 is 3. And then add 1 more zero. All right, oh, this is easy peasy, 760. These type of questions are what? Bonus question, okay? This is very easy. And 40 times 25, hold on, what did I say? When you see 25, you have to think about what? Quarters. How many quarters are here? 4 quarters is equal to 100 cents, which is $100. Plus what? One more zero. Yep, that's it, 1,000. You got it? All right, let's move on. So 5 times unknown number is going to make 15, and there is one more zero because we have 1 0 here, and that means what? We have to have 1 0 at the end of this one factor. 5 times what makes 15? 5, 10, 15, yep, 3. And then, as I said, you need to add 0. Okay, so the answer is what? 30. Okay, so same like that. 2 times what makes 18? Yes, 9. And then there is 1 0 here, and then we need 1 more 0. Make sense? All right. Now 6 times what number is going to make 74? 42? Yes, 6 times 7. And we do have 1 0 here, and then we need 1 more 0. Okay? 8 times what number makes 64? 8, correct. And then we have 1 0 here, and we have another 0, right? We need. Okay, so 9 times what makes 36? 4. And then we have 1 0, and we need another 0. Okay, now 7 times what makes 35? You can underline like me, okay? It's fine. 7 times what makes 35? 7 times 5. And we have 1 0 here, and you need 1 more 0. So 50, okay? Compare number 20. 6 times 3 is what? 18. And how many zeros? 1 and 2. Hold on. You need to compare what? This is equal sign. And this 40 times 12. I'm going to do what? 4 times 12, which is what? 48. And then I'm going to add one more zero. Compare these two numbers. Yep. Greater sign. So I'm going to do 25 times 9, and then I'm going to add one more zero at the end. So 9 times 5 is what? 45. I'm going to carry 4 up here, and 9 times 2 is 18. That's 22, and then I need to add one more zero. So compare these two numbers, this and that. Yes, you need less sign. Okay, it takes 10 days to film one episode of a television show. How many days? This is the question. How many days will it take to film a 20 episode season? So for one episode, it takes 10 days. And what about 20 episodes? Yes, 10 times 20. To know how many days will it take. Okay, which is what? 1 times 2 is 2. And add 2 more zeros. 200 days. Okay. All right. What is this card's number? Explain. The product of my number and 60. So unknown number. Let's put, what number do you want? This time I'm going to use n. N times 60 is equal to what? 3000. Now 6 times what is gonna make 3 or 30? 3 doesn't make sense, so it has to be what? 30, which is what? 5, right? And then we have one zero here, and we need one another zero. That means what? 50. So the answer is what? 50. How do you explain? Yep, 50 times 60 is what? 3000. That's how you explain. That's it. Now 25. Newton says that the product of two multiples of 10 will always have exactly two zeros. Is it correct? No, we just did it, right? Number 24. Multiples of 10s are what? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Oops. Da 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 da. Okay. But then they said the product of two multiples of 10 will always have exactly two zeros. No, at least they will have two zeros, because 10 times 20 is what? 200. So at least 2 zeros. But look at this. We just did it. 50 times 60 is what? 3000, which is what? 3 zeros. Of course, we are going to add two zeros, but as Newton says, always have exactly two zeros. That's not true. So the answer is what? No. How to explain? This is explanation. 50 times 60 is what? 3000, and it has three zeros, not two. Let's move on. Food drive volunteers collect 1,328 cans of food. The volunteers have 50 boxes, and each box holds 20 cans. How many cans will not fit in the boxes? All right, so they collect this many food. Okay, this many cans. Very good. Now multiply to find how many cans will fit in the boxes. So 20 times 50. Oh, they rewrite this 50 as what? 5 times 10, and then they use associative property because they move what? Parentheses. So 20 times 5 is what? 100. And then times 10 is 1000. So 1000 cans fit in the boxes. Subtract the number of cans that will fit in the boxes from the total number of cans collected. Yep, 1000. So how many cans will be left? 328. That's it. Will not These 328 cans will not fit in the boxes. All right. It was kind of easy. Okay, number 26, 27, and 28. 3 questions to go. A library has 2,124 new books. The library has 40 empty shelves, and each shelf holds what? 35 books. Okay, so how many books will not fit on the empty shelves? That's the question. So we are going to find out how many books they can hold. Okay, and then we can subtract from all the new books. Okay, all right, so 40 times 35. I'm gonna rewrite it. 35 times 4. I'm gonna put tens. Okay, okay, 5 times 4 is what? 20. Carry 2 up. 4 times 3, 12. So 14. Make sense? Because 12 plus 2, 14. And then you don't forget to what? Add 1 0. Okay, so 1,400 books they can hold. Okay, but then they have what? 2,124 books. So you are going to subtract this one, 1,400. 4, 2, 1, 10, 11. Okay, 11 minus 4 is 7. So the answer is what? 724 books won't fit. Okay, won't fit. Number 27. An apartment building has 15 floors. Each floor is 10 feet tall. An office building has 30 floors. Each floor is 13 feet tall. How much taller is the office building than the apartment building? So, how much taller? You're going to add or you're going to subtract? Yes, subtraction, difference. Okay, you need to find out the difference. So here, there you go, 15, the apartment, let's say, an office building, okay, is what? 15 times 10, which is 150 feet tall. Okay, and then office building is what? 30 floors times 13. I'm going to do what? 3 times 13 first, which is 39, right? And then add one more 0. And then that's the fit. So let's find out the difference. 390 take away 150 is what? 4, 2. The answer is what? 240 feet. Okay. 28. Last question. You burn 35 calories each hour you spend reading, and 50 calories each hour you spend playing board games. Ooh, I didn't know. Playing board games, you can burn your calories. Okay. In 2 weeks, you spend 14 hours reading and 24 hours playing board games. You play more than reading. Okay, the question is what? How many calories do you burn reading and playing board games? Okay, so you need to add or subtract. Yes, you need to add them together. So let's find out. So you burn 35 calories, okay, for spending reading. And how many hours did you read it? 14 hours, right? And then you need to add for 50 calories of 28 hours. You play 28 hours of playing board game, okay? Is what? That's the question. So now 35 times 14. Okay, so 35 times 14. Is there any easier way? Let's think. Of course, we can figure it out, but is there any easier way that we can do? We can use what? Distributive property, which is 10 plus 4. We can do that, and then we can deliver this 35 to 10 and 4. Okay, if you want to. I'm gonna do both. Okay, so first way, one way, let's say, is what? 4 times 5, 20, and 4 times 3, 12. So 14. And then for 10th digit, you need to add 1 0 for the second row. And then you need to go what? 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is what? 3. So you need to add them together. Is what? Oh, I don't have space, so I'm going to write it in here. It's going to be 0, 1's place, and then 9, 10th place, and then 4 is that the 100th place. Okay? And then second way is what? As I said, I'm going to do 35 times 10, which is what? 350, plus I'm going to do 35 times 4. Okay, 4 times 5 is what? 20, and carry 2 up, and 4 times 3 is what? 12. Okay, makes sense? 12 plus 2 is 14. So 140 is what? 0 and 10th place are 9 and 4. You see the same thing? So either way is fine, whichever you feel comfortable. So we got the 490 plus, now we need to find out this one. Sorry. 5 tenths times what? 28. 8 times 5 is what? 40. And then 5 times 2 is what? 10. Okay, and then remember, this is not 5, this is 5 tenths. That means what? You need to add one more 0. 1,400. Which means what? Okay, 1's place is what? 0, and 10's place is what? 9, and 100 places are 8 and 1,000. 890 calories. Okay, this is the answer. Remember, guys, we learned distributive property and associative property, and even just count how many zeros are there, and then just multiply the other numbers. Or we call it what? We call it it's place value. Okay, place value practice. So whichever you feel comfortable, you can practice. All right, and I want you to do your homework portion at home, which is 147 and 48. I'm going to see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.